Hi, my name is Michaela. I am a PhD student in the University of Tübingen. I don't know why I'm saying that because it's totally not relevant to this video. But I have decided to start the video today because even though I'm not traveling today, I'm packing today. And let me just chuck you down there for a second. I don't know what you can see, but even though I'm not traveling today, I'm packing today. And basically what I'm dealing with is this. I have like a one-piece carry-on and I've bought the biggest size bag possible because we do so many of these trips and then we always deal with really annoying bags that don't fit the size requirements, or we have something that's too small and so we're not taking as much as we could take. Anyway, I've bought the bag and I thought I'm basically just gonna pack as much as I can today, and I've laid everything out. But yeah, basically for some context, which I probably should have started with, is Luke, my husband, who's normally in these videos, he has gone on a work trip. It's his first work trip since we moved to Germany. Basically all the trips that we've done, which I can link our travel vlog folder up the top, but basically all of the trips that we have done have been for my work or like for my university, and so a lot of it has been him coming along and joining in on what I'm doing. But he's got his first work trip, which is super exciting. He's gone to Mongolia, but it's not, from what I've heard, the safest place for a woman to travel alone, and Luke will be doing like 12-hour days or so, and so I would be traveling alone. So anyway, we decided I was going to stay back, and then I had massive FOMO, and also I didn't really want to be in the apartment by myself for a really long time. I've always wanted to do a solo trip, basically. It's been I think my dream since I got married, because we got married really young, and not that I didn't want to spend time with Luke, but I always saw like a lot of videos on YouTube or like hearing people talk about doing a solo trip, and I don't know how they kind of just spent time with themselves. And I'm obviously gonna be working, like I can't just take the time off because I've spent a lot of time traveling this year. Obviously it's been for work, but I just want to make sure that I'm working while I'm away. So anyway, I'm doing my first ever solo trip. I'm super excited. I'm absolutely terrified. I have a crazy itinerary, but I'm really excited to bring you along. Anyway, I thought I'd start this here because I haven't started packing yet, and I will pack and then update you if I manage to fit it all in. So I've finished packing and it like fits, but I had to get rid of a bunch of stuff, and so I'm gonna need to do a washer load halfway through, which is fine. Like I'm totally happy going and working in a laundromat or something. It really won't take that long, or I can just read my book because I have a bunch of books to get through. But I managed to get it all. I'm not even gonna bother trying to lift it up because it's heavy. But I managed to fit it all in, and then all of this stuff, which is on the end of the bed, I hope you can see that. But basically I'm waiting for an Amazon delivery of a Lululemon dupe front pack thing, and all of that stuff theoretically needs to fit in that, and so I don't know what size it is. I'm waiting to find out, but as soon as I know, then I can put all that stuff in. The other thing is, like, basically this is the bag. I've got my laptop, I've got clothing, like shoes. I'm pretty much only taking my running shoes apart from some jandals because I don't trust hostel bathrooms, and so that is the one thing I'm doing. The one thing I do have is I've got a lot of space on this side, simply because I want to go secondhand book shopping, which I know sounds really stupid, but I've tried to factor it in because I want to make sure that I can, if that makes sense. I've also packed in here, so like in here is all of my socks and everything. I've also packed a bag, like a tote bag, so that if I am going out somewhere, I've got a tote bag that I can take, because I don't have a handbag outside of my Lululemon thing, which I'm waiting to come. Anyway, I've also got some chocolate gifts for the friends who I'm going to be seeing. Oh, there should be one more. But basically, I'm seeing 3 friends in Edinburgh, 2 of whom aren't from Germany, and so I thought I'd get them some Rittersport because that's like a local chocolate. And then I've got these for the plane, which I think I'm actually going to siphon out a few and put them in a Snaplock bag because I really don't need this many for the plane, like it's just me. I've got nut bars because I need some sort of fuel. And then all of my main like meds and disinfectant and all of that stuff. I've got a power bank and cable. This is going to be changing out into the bag. Like I'm going to take out the cards that I need and leave the rest because it's just bulky and I don't need it. And then I've got my 2 passports and sunglasses, headphones, and pens and pencils. So we'll see how much of that can fit in. I don't know how much of it will fit, but we'll see. The other thing is that these can go in this pocket because obviously these aren't coming back with me. This isn't coming back with me. Like theoretically that can just fit in there until I get the books. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm a little bit nervous because I have to sleep a night in Dublin airport, but I think it should be fine. And I don't know, I've packed for all kinds of weather. Like I've got my duffel jacket, which is like my puffer jacket, which is very dead and I really need to buy a new one, but I haven't done that yet. And I've packed my clothes for tomorrow, so I might leave this here and pick it up tomorrow when I'm on the road. Hi! Okay, it's the next day and I'm packed, I'm ready to go. I just need to pack up my laptop and then wait for my bus. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a final pack and make sure that everything fits in. But then because I have 4 hours of buses, I might leave my laptop out so I can easily access it. But I just want to say it's 1:30 and I'm ready to go. Let's go to the UK. And that's it. I managed to get it all in. Sorry, that was just Luke messaging. But I managed to get it in. My laptop's in, everything's in. I've got space for my books there. Man, this is my life for the next 7 days. And then I was off. Basically, as a rundown of my itinerary, my flight was at 11:30 p.m, but I left for Nuremberg at around 3 p.m. or something. And I just wanted to get there in enough time to have some dinner and some dessert, which I actually got from Dunkin' Donuts because I felt like treating myself. They had a speculatius or like Biscoff flavor for the season, and yeah, I just felt like it. Anyway, I got to the airport with enough time to spare, so I actually got some work done, which is in a recent study with me video. If you've seen it, I will link it up the top so that you can study with me if you want in an airport. But I just needed to get some work done, and there weren't really any late trains that would have got me there at a good time, so I decided to get there earlier rather than later. And when you don't have to check in bags, it doesn't really matter how early you get there, so I just went through security, parked up in a little cafe, and I got some work done. I then ended up catching my flight at around 11:30 p.m. and we got, with the time difference, we got into Dublin at about 12:45 a.m. and unfortunately, the place where you can sleep for an overnight stay in the airport is closed from 1 a.m. And so I slept in the airport and then got up at like 3 o'clock, found my plane on the departure gate and just went straight there. And then I was in Scotland by like 6 a.m. or something, 7 a.m. It was great. I ended up having breakfast at the airport because I needed to get a good coffee to get me through the day. I got some more work done and then I headed in to Edinburgh. The sign was outside and it was beautiful, but I ended up taking the bus into like the Haymarket area because I was meeting up with a friend and I was staying at the West End hostel or hotel and it was super close by. So I ended up, just taking the bus. I think it was like half an hour, to be honest, half an hour, 45 minutes. So not too long. And then I just parked up in Nomad, which was a cafe, super lovely cafe if you're in the area. I would 100% recommend it, and getting some more work done while I waited for my friend. I also had this really nice walk to the cafe and it was beautiful. This was the nicest weather I had the whole time I was in Edinburgh. And it was so nice just walking around with some blue sky and seeing the architecture, and oh, I just love architecture if you've seen my previous videos. And then straight from lunch, I went to my hostel, which I actually got there slightly early, so I had to wait, get some more work done, but I could check in at 3, and I just had a little nap. So there's nobody in here, so I feel like I can video very quickly. At least I don't think there's anyone in here. No, there's nobody in here. I'm checked into my dorm and I'm in a women's only 10-bed dorm, so it's quite nice because it means that we get our own bathroom slash shower room, but we can also use the communal one if we want. But yeah, I picked a top bunk. I'm in the West End Hotel and I chose the top bunk because it means I've got the most headroom. Otherwise, I'll see if I can show you. Like there, you don't get much headroom, whereas at least on the top, you get a fair amount of headroom. And we've got a light, plugs, yeah. Anyway, it's like 3:30 and I'm exhausted, so I'm gonna have a quick nap for like an hour and then wake up, get ready and go out for the evening. I'm meeting up with some friends and I'll see what I can video. I didn't actually film that much more of Edinburgh in terms of talking, but the weather was shockingly bad and I went out that night to some drinks with some friends and I got completely soaked. So the next morning I went out and got some proper rain gear, some proper shoes that were waterproof, had some breakfast with a friend, which was lovely, and then I went to the portraits gallery with a friend, which I haven't been to a national gallery in Scotland. I went to the museum last time I was there, but this time we went to the portraits one and it was actually really lovely. I'm not too much of an art gallery person, but it was quite nice. Then we went to the old medical school because I do some work on medical history and it was so nice to see some of the places that the people that I work on study. And then I met up with a friend and we went around the University of Edinburgh because he's studying there at the moment. We got some hot chocolate from Upland's Cafe because you have to go there. It's absolutely brilliant. And then of course we found Tom Riddle's graveyard in Greyfriars Kirkyard, so if you're in the area, definitely recommend going and checking that out. And then the next day we had a very light itinerary. Our plan was actually to climb up Arthur's Seat and the weather was like, yeah, it was pretty meh. Like it had stopped raining thankfully, and so we were just walking up. But from about halfway up we could see the city and then it just started getting foggier and foggier. So by the time we actually got to the top, we couldn't see anything. So we spent quite a lot of time taking it in while we could. And then when we got to the top, there was just like nothing. Apart from when you get to the very top, there's one of those German stickers, which is a Nether, aber warst du schon in Baden-Württemberg? Which is so funny. And I had to point it out because obviously it's a classic. And then I didn't have a late night because the next morning I had to get up, I think at like 3 or 4 to catch my flight. And it was just, yeah, an early morning flight. With Ryanair, you just do with what you can. But I got to the airport super early, had some breakfast, got on the flight, and this is me with all of my stuff, my one backpack. I ended up taking my tote bag out and just carrying some extra stuff in there. But this was a little quick run through of Edinburgh. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it and that if you do go to Edinburgh, you get some nice inspiration of things that you can do. But definitely stay tuned for my Dublin vlog, which is coming next because I got up to so much stuff and it was so much fun. So yeah, definitely subscribe and I will see you with another video very soon. Bye!